I got big news for you today, and it's going to pump you up. Nick Chubb is expected to be at practice. We've been monitoring his status in September of last year, since the injury happened, obviously. But it's time. It's time, my friends. He's back at practice, and you're not going to practice just to practice, especially if you're a veteran. He's practicing to come back to play, and that's going to be sooner than later. There's going to be a ramp up here, but we're going to deep dive Nick Chubb again. We did it last week, but the news is here. It's time to get ready. We're going to do that right now. But before we do that, you need to click that subscribe button because we're doing deep dives every day on these players. As many players as possible. We may do the same player every week. If new news keeps happening, we will. We'll cover the advanced analytics, everything else. Click that button. Stop missing out. But he is expected to practice today. Missed the majority of last season. Was out due to the knee injury. And he's expected to be back today. Everybody's been stashing him on their fantasy football team for this moment. I put out a video last week saying, hey, Nick Chubb is coming back soon. Things are starting to bubble up. If you want him, if you are interested in him, and you don't have him, you may want to try to get him by trade, waiver wire, whatever it is. Whatever it is, you may want to make that move. You still got some time, but the value is going up and the liquidity is going down. And remember last week, Kevin Stefanski said that he's coming back sooner than later. We shall see, but he's coming back. And that being said, he is back now. And going back to July, when he went viral, squatting 540 pounds with a tsunami bar. This should take care of some of the doubters here, because not many people in this world can do this, and he's coming back after having his knee shredded and just going blast off on the squats. We'll watch this a few times because this is one of my favorite videos we covered in the off season. That's a tsunami bar. It's supposed to take away the stability. It's supposed to make it a lot harder. We're going down. We're going deep. We're confident. And there's a lot to take in from this. There's a lot more than just him squatting a lot of weight, moving it on the squat rack. There's a lot to take away from that. One, he's quick at recovery, and usually generational talents, top tier talents, they do this, they bounce back very quickly. Another one, we build up that strength quick. That means we're a top tier athlete. Only top tier athletes can really do that, especially at this age. At this age, he's not super old or anything, but you know when you're that age. You know what I'm talking about. He's coming back quick. He's strong. He's explosive. And we're months away from this. On top of this, you're not getting under the squat rack going ham like this in July after getting your knee shredded without the intent of coming back. Without that being your mission. And a lot of people will look at the Browns' record and be like, whoa, why would he come back? What's the point of coming back to a losing team? He's got that dog in him. He's got that grit. And it's that determination to come back from getting your knee shredded. To come back to being what you once were. That's why he's putting in that work. That is internal. That is drive. He's coming back whether you tell him no or not. That is what Nick Chubb is doing. That is what this video tells you. That tells you more than him coming back, looking good in the squat rack. Looking good with a tsunami bar. Looking good and ready almost. Except for cutting and all that stuff, obviously. But that's what that tells you. Like, hey, I'm internally driven. I'm going to bust out these heavy squats. I don't care. We're making it happen. That's Nick Chubb, and he's coming back. Stefanski said some interesting stuff in the offseason. We covered this last week. But there's some key words to note from this that I want to talk about again.
Speculate on that part of it, other than the say I've seen him run and seen him work out, and he's right where he needs to be. He's, as we talked about all along, he's tackling this rehab. He's in early, staying late. I give a lot of credit to Nick, give a lot of credit to our medical team that are bringing him along, but we're not going to worry about much past today.
He saw him sprinting, he saw him running hard. This was early training camp. This is around July time. This was summer. Already running, on schedule during that time. His schedule to come back somewhere around this time, between now and Halloween, somewhere around there. And he was on time, back then, sprinting, working hard, getting in demon mode. We showed that with the squat rack right there, him getting it done. All things are pointing to good for Nick Chubb. And you're looking at his availability in leagues, it's hardly any. There's hardly any. People are stashing for a reason. They're diamond fisting for a reason. They're using their IR spot, or maybe even not, and they're just hoarding him. They know the upside. It's not like I'm saying crazy stuff here, because the market's saying the same thing. Usually when the market follows suit in the fantasy football industry, the players are deadlocked on something like this, a guy on the back end of the roster, it's for a good reason. And going back to the injury after the surgeries, they're saying that he's able to make a return sometime during 2024. He's practicing today. You can make anything on the reference of the knee being shredded, injured, whatever. We're practicing today. We're squatting about 6 bills, and we're ready to rock and roll. We're probably going to get some more practices under our belt. Maybe it's a week or two. Maybe it's some time. He's going to be back sooner than later. This is to sound the alarm, because we look at the touches of the Browns' backfield, and they're working with jabroni running backs. Jerome Ford's good for a backup running back, but he's not built to carry the load for the full season. He's not built to be your franchise running back. He's a good running back. He's getting you 5.2 yards per carry. He's not Nick Chubb. And you may be doubting Nick Chubb coming back, which you probably can because of the injury. But the thing about this and his talent level and the type of athlete he is, these are the type of athletes that don't come around too often. This is the running back prospect that shredded his knee, fell a little bit in the draft, but not too much, because he's so talented, he's explosive. Todd Gurley was considered a generational talent coming out, and there was hot debates between him and Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb looked like the better running back because he was more explosive, big, compact, and could really get after it in open field. Todd Gurley, very good back then at Georgia. Very good. Nick Chubb's got a lot of upside to come back here. He's got a lot of upside here in this offense. The downside is obvious, and you can look at the downside all you want, but staring at downside causes you to fall on your face, because he's capable of this production. What are the odds this happens? Maybe about 50-50, and that's very good for a running back coming off of an injury like this, who's free on your roster, free off waivers, free off the IR. Probably about 50-50, because we already got our explosiveness back. That's what the squat says. That's how you get explosive. Those deep squats, the power, his legs still got it. It's still there. He didn't lose it. It didn't get zapped. It's whether or not the knee holds up, and it should, because it's already holding up a lot of weight. We just showed it. He's already sprinting. He's walking without a limp. We've seen that. He's looking good. We're going into practice this week. It's a quick return. It's not like this is delaying out into like Halloween time, Thanksgiving time, and you're waiting. It's October, the first week of October. It's the 2nd of October, actually. We're just now into the month, and we're looking at him being back. Why are you scared of Nick Chubb? Not many people are, and we're all rooting for Nick Chubb because he's a standout dude. One of the few standout dudes out there that just gets it, works hard, a grinder. You look at the schedule, and I'm not too worried about it. I don't think it really even matters. Him getting touches, him with the upside, and if he comes back and say he's 80% of what he was, you're happy to have a running back getting touches. Catching balls out of the backfield, he's going to have some pop in the step, probably more or as much as Jerome Ford with him coming back from the injury. He's going to have the power. It's there. We're already seeing that. You don't have the power if you can't squat 540 on the tsunami bar. It's just not going to happen. He's going to be there, and he's going to get opportunities, and that's what you want. You'd kill to get any running back for free off the waiver wire, free off your IR spot, who's going to get double-digit touches a game. You'll probably get double digits, probably like 10-plus opportunities in a game, and it's going to ramp up. It may take some time. It may be to like October 20th, October 13th, the 27th, until we see him back. It may be something like that. But he's also going to ramp up from there and get more touches, and you're going to want down the back end of the season. So you don't need him. You already have stashes. You're not interested. You're scared of the knee. The thing about this already, why not? Because it's a running back. You're looking at Trey Sermon off the waiver wire, and he's getting touches. he's probably going to be more athletic than him coming back from this injury. He's going to get opportunity. It might be ramped up. It might be later on down the road. Another strategy is once he's back, he's going to come up from IR. He's going to hold a roster spot. That manager's going to have to hold him and make decisions around him with injuries and bye weeks. You might be able to swoop in, catch him at a discount there. Maybe he gets dropped if there's a little wait. Maybe. The buying time, week 1, week 2, just filling out that manager's depth chart there with some of your ancillary jabronis, trying to swoop in and get Nick Chubb. The liquidity is down on that because no one's going to come in and sell Nick Chubb now on the low. It's just not going to happen. But if you need him, you need a stash with tremendous upside. He has more upside than the rookies because we already know what the upside looks like. And there's probably about a 50-50 chance that hits, and maybe even more or less. But there's a good odds that he comes back and hits like that. There's good odds that after a few weeks, he comes back and gets enough touches to make you really, really want him in fantasy football. Nick Chubb is back. He's back, and we love it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video.